We won the Cold War, or as I like to think of it as I won the Cold War. And then between 1991 and 2001, we drifted along fairly well. Since 2001, and certainly since the last, and we'll call it a depression, starting in 2008, a recession and a depression, by the way, differs as follows. If you have a job, it's a recession. If you don't, it's a depression. We have seen other parts of the world begin to move forward, China in particular. We've also seen a world that has been increasingly allowing itself, more than allowing itself, connecting itself. There are 2.5 billion people on the internet right now. We'll probably head to 5 shortly. They belong to some 200 countries, not all of whom have stable currencies. I can sit here right now and recite for you which new peso and new whatever else has been promulgated by different countries over the years, or who slashed a couple of zeros off the end of their currency. Now ask me what that does to people when they start thinking about stability. Some of you guys are probably too young to remember, but even in the United States in the late 1970s, I remember parking money in a CD at about 19.5%. Why? Because mortgages were being charged at 16.5% because our inflation rate was running 12 to 14%. That was unusual in our circumstance. It's not unusual around the world. So when you start asking other people to have full faith and credit in their money, they look at you, smile a little bit, nod their heads, and go on their merry way, thinking, I'm going to do what I have to do to survive. I was just recently spent 3 weeks in the UAE. Go to the gold souks in the UAE. There are an enormous amount of bracelets and necklaces and whatever else made out of gold. Why? Because 9 out of 10 of that population in the UAE are expats, and the vast majority of them come from either Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Burma. And they want to get money out of the country, and they don't trust the local currency. So what I'm asking you to do, essentially, is to get yourself out of the mind frame of a 20th century American and get yourself into the 21st century, where the power of the United States is not as great as it used to be. The power of the dollar is not as great as it used to be. And we have to start thinking about a way of dealing and communicating with each other in which borders and boundaries don't matter all that much anymore. So when I look at Bitcoin, and I've purchased one, by the way, just because I like to put, if you'll pardon the expression, my money where my mouth is, I've taken a look at this. And I think to myself, okay, is it the be-all and end-all of this? I don't know. Is it a Ponzi scheme? I don't think so, but we'll see. Does it represent